Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're talking about something really important for healthy aging, something many people face but maybe don't even have a name for it. Sarcopenia.
Right. It sounds technical, but it's essentially that progressive loss of muscle. Not just mass, but strength and function too, and it happens faster than typical aging.
And it's not trivial, is it? The numbers are pretty startling. We're talking maybe 30% of folks over 65.
Yeah, and it jumps even higher, maybe 50, even 60% for people over 80. It's a major issue.
It really impacts quality of life too. Weakness, falls, fractures,
Yeah.
losing independence.
Absolutely. And think about this. The global population of older adults is set to hit 2 billion by 2050. So understanding sarcopenia is becoming, well, incredibly urgent.
Okay, so to help us get a handle on this, you dove into some specific research.
Exactly. We looked at a really comprehensive study, a bibliometric analysis, basically. It mapped out global research trends specifically on exercise and nutrition for sarcopenia, covering 20 years, from 2005 to 2025.
20 years of research. Wow.
Yeah, so the goal here is to pull out the key insights, kind of give you a shortcut to what science has learned about tackling sarcopenia.
All right, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
What are the current strategies that this big analysis highlights? What's working?
Well, the data really points strongly in one direction, combining exercise and nutrition. That's the core strategy.
Okay, any specifics on the exercise front?
Definitely. Resistance exercise comes up again and again. It's clearly the most recommended, the most studied type of training for this, lifting weights, using resistance bands, that kind of thing.
Building that muscle back up makes sense. And nutrition.
The big players there are dietary protein, and specifically things like whey protein and the amino acid leucine get mentioned a lot. Also vitamin D and other amino acids. These seem to be the key focus areas.
So resistance training plus focusing on things like protein and vitamin D.
Yes, but here's a really crucial point the analysis drives home. Doing both together is way more effective than just doing one or the other.
So there's a synergy effect.
Exactly. It's like 1 + 1 = 3 in this case. The combination really optimizes the results for fighting sarcopenia.
That's a great takeaway. Now, what about the overall research landscape? You mentioned 20 years of studies. Has interest in sarcopenia grown?
Oh, significantly. The analysis showed a clear, consistent upward trend in the number of publications each year. More and more scientists are focusing on this.
That's good news. Any surprises in who is doing the research?
Actually, yeah. There's been a noticeable geographical shift. Traditionally, the US and Europe are the big research hubs.
Right.
But lately, especially in the last decade or so, there's been a real surge from Asian countries, particularly China. They're becoming major contributors to sarcopenia research now.
That is interesting. A real globalization of the research effort. Did the analysis show what specific topics are hot right now within that research? Like keywords?
It did. High-frequency keywords give us a good idea. For exercise, the big ones are skeletal muscle, naturally, resistance exercise, as we discussed, and muscle strength. And for nutrition, it's dietary protein, vitamin D, and amino acids. Those really stand out.
Anything else jump out from those keywords?
Yes. One that's really important, obesity. It shows up frequently. This points to that complex issue of sarcopenic obesity.
Where someone has low muscle mass, but also excess body fat.
Exactly. It's a kind of hidden problem, makes things even trickier to manage.
Yeah.
It highlights how body composition is more complicated than just weight.
That makes sense. So looking back over the 20 years, how has the focus of the research changed? Did they start looking at one thing and then shift?
Yeah, there's a definite evolution. Early on, say around 2005, the focus was more foundational. Terms like human skeletal muscle, amino acids, defining the basics.
Building the groundwork.
Right. Then the focus shifted more towards clinical outcomes, things people experience. Keywords like gait speed and physical function became more common. How does this actually affect someone's ability to move and live?
Measuring the impact.
Exactly. And most recently, in the last 5 years covered, the research has really drilled down into things like cachexia, that's severe muscle wasting and inflammation.
So moving towards the underlying biology.
Precisely. It suggests researchers are exploring the deeper mechanisms behind sarcopenia and also how it connects with other chronic diseases. It's less about just the symptom, the weakness, and more about the why and how it fits into the bigger picture of health.
Okay, so that shift from symptoms to mechanisms and connections seems really significant.
It absolutely is. So, what this all means for you, listening, is that science is moving beyond just defining sarcopenia. It's actively mapping out how it intertwines with overall health, interacting with conditions like sarcopenic obesity, or even osteosarcopenia, that combination of bone loss and muscle loss.
Which is a double whammy for mobility.
For sure.
So here's something to think about. As this research shifts focus, moving from just treating symptoms to understanding these deep mechanisms and managing sarcopenia as part of a whole web of health issues, how does that change your perspective on healthy aging? How should we think about well-being for ourselves and maybe for older family members?
It really pushes us towards a more integrated, proactive view of health, doesn't it? Not just dealing with problems as they pop up, but understanding the connections.
Definitely something to consider. It underlines just how important looking at the whole picture is for staying healthy and active as we age.